Hello and welcome to the Modders Inc. podcast number 26 for October of 2014. You can now get the Modders Inc. podcast through iTunes or through our RSS feed through YouTube. If you go out to youtube.com and /Modders Inc., no dash, or you can also get it straight from the Modders Inc. website. So tonight's show is going to be, I think, very informative. I think you're going to have a lot of fun listening to us. We've got some great talent on the line. Some people that are making first shows up within our podcast, so I think this is going to be an interesting and fun time. But first off, we'd like to give a shout out to Thermaltake, because Thermaltake wants you to know that our greatest asset is our customers. And Thermaltake does not take that for granted. And that's why Thermaltake is leading the industry in customer service and support. Thermaltake is committed to never follow, but always lead. Brings a tear to my eye. Today's attendees we have Al. There he is.
How do, everybody?
We have ourselves one of our newest members, Joe.
Hey, guys.
And the grandfather of all modding, American Freak, Dewayne Carroll.
Hey, what's up?
And you've got Ron from the great pearly white north of Canada.
Hello.
And Thomas Brokaw. Don't confuse him with the major reporter. And Thomas is just south of Canada.
Hey guys.
And me, I'll be your host. I'm Craig Tate, Tech Daddy. Y'all are probably sick of me by now, so I'll just shut up. Ooh. Well, now that we've got the podcast started and we are starting to make this a more routine event, one of the things that we always want to talk about are modding contests. And Modders Inc. likes to play a large role in making sure that modding contests become the norm and that you guys have a creative, competitive outlet, if you will. And we've got some information that we want to talk to you all about in regards to modding contests that Modders Inc. is going to be hosting in the future and how we want to even the field, if you will, make it a bit more competitive, if you will. And I believe that centers around modding work logs. Dewayne, you want to speak some more to this?
Yeah, I mean, we've been lucky enough to have the modding contest at QuakeCon for the last 3 years, and we're going to be doing it again in 2015 for the 20th anniversary of QuakeCon.
It's going to be big.
This year we want to make sure that we get a lot of people to join. We're working on some sponsors to see if we can really take this thing over the top. Don't know how far we can go with it at this point, but with CES coming up, I think we're going to be able to hit a lot of people and hopefully get a lot of backing. And I think that QuakeCon was going to try and push as much as it could also. So we're trying to hold the announcement a little bit. But what we'd like to do is when people are going to be part of the event, that they would go and actually put some blogs up in the forums on the site. That way we can actually see you guys building stuff and seeing that you are actually building what you're talking about. We kind of had an incident on the last year's, which we want to try and correct.
Right. So basically what we're looking at doing, folks, is if you plan on competing in the modding contest at QuakeCon, what we're asking you to do is to come out to Modders Inc., go out to our forum, and create a build log for the machine that you plan on using to compete with. Just make sure that the forum log is there, and it shows that, it shows the work, it shows you doing the work, and we want the contest to be fun, we want it to be enjoyable, but we want it to be fair, and we want to make sure that the people that are competing are the ones that are actually doing the work. So what we would like to do is make sure that everybody posts their build logs and their work, and tries to make sure that everything stays on the up and up. That's all it is.
And a photo of themselves too, correct?
Excuse me?
A photo of themselves with
Yes.
the mod itself. That way we know it's. Yeah. We want to see what they can do, not what essentially they can pay someone else to do.
Right. Right. The whole idea behind a modding hunt. Here's my daughter. Hi. There you go. Okay. That's enough. That's enough. That's my beautiful daughter. She's a gamer. Just got to finish hopping off her game. She's going up. She's getting ready for bed. Modding contest. Pictures.
Lost your train of thought, didn't you? Yeah, we want to make sure
Totally doing them.
like Joe was saying, because if we do it the way we're going to do it next year, we're going to probably include a basically what we call like an open class. So that could be anybody who wants to spend lots of money onto it, and wants the guys who's going to dump a bunch, because we want to try and make sure maybe we can keep it kind of a level playing field instead of having the guys that like probably most of us go out and we do it all by hand, we paint it, and we do a lot of the work that we can as much. Stop them from competing, from having guys go out and pay $3,000 for a paint job and another $10,000 for doing this or whatever, and come back with a super sweet mod that it is technically theirs, but they really didn't do anything to it.
Right.
So, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's going to be a couple of months off, and we're still working on those ideas. But this way, you're doing the build logs and showing, you doing it, at least a final picture saying, here I am and I'm doing it, will help verify that you actually did the work.
Exactly. Work authenticity is, in pretty much every other artistic vein that happens out there in the world, you can't have one artist plagiarizing another artist's work. You just can't. It's not copacetic. It's not acceptable. And I think with modding, you have the dangerous precipice of people farming out a lot of their work and having others do things for them that they can't do. They come up with the idea, but they have somebody else build it. And that's not in the same category as somebody who does it all themselves. And that's what we want to do. We want to try and even the playing field for everybody. We want to make the competition as enjoyable for everybody. And that's why we're doing this. So, it's one of those things that we're trying to do to make the hobby more enjoyable and more approachable to everybody, and honestly, to try and get more people to join in and say, yeah, I can do that, because they might see somebody doing something and go, oh yeah, man, that's awesome, and then they start doing a build, and all of a sudden we end up with a whole bunch of mods there at QuakeCon, which would just be a dream come true. We would love that.
Yeah, and we're not trying to keep people from doing stuff. Of course, I don't have access to a laser and all this other stuff, or a CNC machine. And we're not trying to stop people from doing that. What we'd like to be able to do is just keep it that the whole mod isn't made out of things that you farmed out.
Right.
If you want to get certain pieces done, absolutely, positively can understand it. Don't have access to a laser cutter or to a vinyl machine or certain things, but every piece of that is farmed out. It's technically not your mod.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be about the spirit of the ingenuity and the spirit of the competition, not about following trying to find out what the letter of the law is and trying to skirt around it just so you can have an advantage over other people, because it's not. It is a community. Modding is kind of bigger than just one person or one site.
Well said, Ron. Very, very well said. Very well said. And speaking of the spirit of the community, there's a lot of events that are coming up here. Specifically, one of the larger ones that happens up in the Pacific Northwest is PDX Land, coming up November 7th through 9th. I believe that's your neck of the woods, Tom, isn't it?
Yep, it is. And I've been up there a couple times. I covered it for Modders Inc. a couple times. Lots of case mods. There's a pretty good-sized case mod competition going on. So if you guys have never had a chance to go, get up there, go.
Yeah.
I think tickets are $63 for the November one. They do the actual PDX Land twice a year. Yeah, tickets are $63, and there's quite a few seats left.
Is that the one where you donate food, or is that a different one?
Yep. The November one is the one that they've got the food donations at. And it may be both of them, but I specifically remember hearing about the massive quantities last year that we're donating.
That's very cool. Do you know how long PDX Land's been going on?
I do not.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like forever that I've been hearing about them.
Yeah, well, they do about 2 a year, and I think they're up to PDX 25 or 26. I think this one is 27, maybe.
27.
Yeah. So, gosh, well, divide that by how many? By 2.
Yeah.
Dwayne, are you headed up there too?
I'm going to try and stop up there and see what happens.
Well, that's exciting. So some of our additional modding people that are up there in the Northwest, if you happen to see American Freak walking around, he loves autographs.
Yes, well, please. No more. No.
Maybe.
No, it says here actually that it says that they have raised so far over 30,000 pounds of food.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
That's why they don't invite me.
I had to subtract a little bit out of that, huh?
I dent that stuff.
Don't worry, it won't make the news.
Yeah, sorry.
But it is a weird community up there. Don't take me as weird as saying like weird, but it's a place where it's just full of modders.
Yeah, I don't think the last 2 times that I've been there, I've seen a stock case anywhere. And
It's a
if
very
I
high
have,
density custom environment.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's pretty great. Hopefully, you try and get some of those guys to QuakeCon. And if they do, we need other people out around the country to come over and just kick their asses. Maybe make this a challenge against everybody else, against the PDX guys. I don't know, but we got to get some people, get them going to QuakeCon. Get them to go to QuakeCon.
The guys on the West Coast seem to frequent that place up there. I think I've seen Richard Suraz up there, Darth Beavis. I think I've seen see here, yeah, and Rod and Ron Christensen and Brian Boddicker.
Lee Harrington.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a who's who amongst the modding environment and the modding elite that I've seen up in PDX Land in the past.
This because he's out in California now.
Who?
Mike Lutro.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, that West Coast is pretty laden with talent. They need an earthquake or something. I'm sorry. Was that out loud?
I'd like to give a shout out to our local guys. We're actually getting it back. It's called Desert Bash.
Oh, sweet.
Trying to bring it back. It's been absent for about 3 years. It was getting up to be a pretty good size. It was usually around about 300 or 400 people, like they do at PDX. But typically they've had it during the summertime, and it's 115 to 20 degrees out. You really don't want to lag your computer around and stuff. But really, to bring it back, it's part of the Intel LAN Fest. And I think the last couple times I've actually had it at the Intel factories. They just did one at the local little LAN shop. I think it's called, oh my gosh, now I gotta make myself look at it. It was Howie's, I think it was Howie's Game Shack. And it's a place where you can just go in and you can rent the machines and just LAN your ass off if you want. And they had a little mini bash up there for like 40 people, and they sold out. It all went to charity. I think it was Child's Play.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a great time, and all the great sponsors were up there like they normally are. MSI and ADATA and Intel and all those regular people. I think it was Thermaltake. Everybody just threw some stuff in there.
That's cool. That's really cool. Well, coming up here in Dallas, those that have been to QuakeCon for many years know the gentleman Fade, Clayton Murley. He is I always mispronounce his last name. I'll just call him Fade. But Fade's actually been working on a LAN event that is on the opposite side of the calendar from QuakeCon, so that you could bring a bunch of people together and still have that LAN feel in Dallas, but just 6 months later after QuakeCon, and he named it aptly BegCon, and that's coming up Saturday, February 14th in Dallas, 2015. It's a 2-day LAN, if I'm not mistaken, happening out at the Sheraton Dallas in Richardson, Garland area. I believe that's where it's happening at. Fadecon.org is the website for it. Also, coming up in early December is another Dallas favorite that had a hiatus for a while. It was Peace, Love, and Rockets, PLR. The PLR lands have been going on for a long time here in the Dallas area, and they took a bit of a break, and now they're back. And the PLR land is happening December 6th, 2014. It's a 24-hour land, and that's also that can also be linked to off of the FadeCon URL. So lots of LAN events happening up in the Northwest. Sounds like they're getting ramped up there in the desert with you, Dewayne, and we've got some happening here in Texas as well, which is awesome.
We've got one here in the Midwest called Fort LAN,
I've
Fort
heard
LAN,
of it.
Indiana.
Yeah.
November 8th and 9th.
November 8th and 9th.
And it's about the only one we got in the Midwest.
So is that just once a year?
It's twice a year. They also are in June. Middle of June is the other event, but this one's November 8th and 9th at Indiana Tech, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Awesome. Fort LAN. Ron, you know of any LANs happening in Canada, or is it too cold up there?
There was AMD host when, I don't know when, I should really ask them. AMD Extravaganza, I think. They have it in their campus up north.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Just north of Toronto, because that's where their campus is. But there's a couple other university ones, but I don't. It will look weird when an old guy strolls in there.
Tell me about it. I got gray in the beard. I'll walk in. Everybody's like, "Oh, dude, if I stand around, he's gonna collapse. He's gonna have a heart attack." Oh, shut up.
No, dude, can you buy us some beer?
Yeah, exactly. Joe, what about South Texas? Anything that you know of that's going on?
I need to organize something because we have nothing. Something like golf land.
Hey,
I really
that'd be
should.
cool.
I mean,
Yeah, do it.
It's right next to the beach. So after you get wired up on balls or whatever drink you prefer, just run on the beach for a few hours.
Everybody be landing in tents. Have generators set up.
We actually do have several convention centers down here, so it is something that's possible. You
Where
just need
you
to
at?
organize.
Where you at?
I'm in Alvin, Texas.
Alvin.
It's like 20 minutes from the coast. It's about an hour from Houston.
Oh, okay.
Difference between Houston and the Gulf is you're less likely to get stabbed in the Gulf than you are in Houston.
Oh boy. Okay, so we've got all these lands that are going all around on the in 2014 and 2015. Obviously, in our minds, everything leads up to QuakeCon, which this year is going to be huge. id, Bethesda, ZeniMax. This is the 20th anniversary of QuakeCon, and unlike previous years, they have already pinned down the dates. That is July 23rd through the 26th here in Dallas. 20th anniversary QuakeCon. It's going to be a balls-out event. We already know it. It's going to be crazy. And to celebrate, from our standpoint, our favorite thing that we like to do, our staff versus staff modding contest, I'm going to let Dewayne do the honors of letting the world know what, because we know they're losing sleep over this.
Yes. Yes, they are. Who's that? Who's
Exactly, yeah. Who and what will Modders Inc. be basing their theme off of for the 2015 QuakeCon 20th anniversary?
Well, originally we were going to do mods based off of Craig. but that didn't get too many votes. So we took a revote.
You need like double half stackers.
Yeah, I mean, Cooler Master said they couldn't supply enough stackers that we could stack on top of each other to create a height.
Yeah, I thought it was blinding because of the the reflectivity.
No, that would be easy to do. I mean, just get some real shiny and wax it all up. So.
Teleos beards.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. Just for men.
But what we were kind of thinking about, what has been brought up, and I think we are going to do is why not, since it's going to be the 20th anniversary of Quake, we're going to do Doom. So we're going to do the Doom themed case mods.
And that comes up because of last year at QuakeCon, they showed us that id is remaking Doom. Not Doom 2, not Doom 3, not Return of Doom, not Son of Doom. Doom. They're taking Doom, the original Doom, and they're putting it into a modern engine. And we saw the technical preview of it. We got to see the wonderful trailer that everybody else has seen, but then we got to see gameplay.
It was glorious.
Oh, folks, you have no idea what's coming. Oh my God, it was beautiful. So
all we can say is nobody's pants were dry leaving that area.
no, I would totally agree with that. Totally agree. I mean, it was crazy. Everybody was leaving and screaming. It was awesome. So to channel that excitement, Modders Inc. is going to be doing Doom-flavored themed computer mods. And to even up the ante even more, to add more excitement to that which should not have this much excitement because it may break, Ron and Tom are participating in a modding contest this year too. And this will be their first mod. And so this is awesome.
Smash the dude, and it'll just be a picture of The Rock.
Oh, come on, you took my idea. Really?
Just hire The Rock to hold your case for you.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
10 women votes.
Well, maybe I should do The Rock. I mean, we have the same first name.
Oh, yeah.
No? There you go.
Like 3 feet shorter and several shades too light.
Need some tattoos too.
But yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Doing this, I think it's gonna be quite the challenge. I think to come up with something that the other guys are not gonna do. That's gonna be the hardest part, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, that's why we kind of picked the theme a little earlier this time. Usually we do a little later, but earlier this time so we can all working up on our themes and our ideas and start things going.
Right.
So, for all you sponsors out there listening, hey, we could use some stuff.
Here we go, folks.
You know.
Oh yeah, I got a mod. I can't fabricate my cases.
Do what?
It's been a while since I've modified a case, and everything has been fabrication for me.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the way you want to go, that's the way you want to go. But, I'm just letting you know that you might want to work with some of the sponsor stuff.
If you can fit the fabrication within the money constraint, you can still do it.
Yeah. That's right. We so what was it last year? Was it 150?
I think it was 250.
250. Yeah. Okay, so Joe, for you it's $15.
Yeah, the beginners get to start off with a lower amount.
Yeah.
So you guys get a couple more years to get up to us. We started at 150, and then we did 200, then we went 250. So,
The spirit of Quake, of Doom, is like nightmare mode.
Yeah, there you go.
Consider it nightmare mode.
Yeah,
you know what you might want to do?
All that money.
Since we're coming up on Halloween right now, you might want to go out to some of the party cities and stuff and start trying to look at some of their Halloween stuff. start looking around and seeing what they have that you might be able to fabricate around some of the skulls, some of the blood, some of the scars, some of the structures and stuff that they have there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and start trying to look at that stuff and see if there's anything I can do to incorporate it into a mod.
I was already out there just this weekend looking for Punisher.
Looking for somebody to punish?
Now we can just 3D print everything.
Yeah, there's that classic Doom 3 Project Mars mod.
I remember that one. That was an ongoing mod. It was so cool.
That was crazy.
It was, but I mean, it was one of those things that it's just like, oh, holy shit. I mean, this was back, looking at the work log actually now. Gosh, it was back in 2005.
Yeah.
And nobody really had ever done anything like that before.
Was that the one that had like the raising blast doors and all the steam pipes and stuff like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It was.
That's
Yeah.
the guy that ran the best case scenario.
Yep. Paul Capello. Capello?
Yes. That's it.
That's when 600 bucks was a lot.
Talked to him on the phone once.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to a good picture here.
You guys want to know a funny story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Modders Inc. used to be owned by Paul, but it lapsed.
Yep.
Look at Dewayne smile.
Boom, bitch.
I heard the story before. Little history lesson.
Yep, that's it right there. Paul owned it, and the person he was working with, it lapsed, and Dewayne and Tony jumped on it, and the rest is history as we speak. I actually talked to him about it for a while. He was laughing about it. He's like, as long as you guys do something good with it, I'm okay with it. And I'm like, well, we plan on doing something good with it. And he's like, all right. So it's kind of funny. Are you showing pictures of that Doom mod?
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time that somebody had really gone this detail and did all that kit bashing and doors, like this doors that would roll up and down.
He had like smoke machines in there in order to make steam and fog and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
it was crazy.
Just some,
wow, look at that.
I wonder if that thing's still around. Now that would be ooh. That would be cool to see if he still has that thing around and get it to go to QuakeCon.
Yeah.
But try not to put too many pentagrams on the rigs. We may summon demons.
Yeah, there it is, right there. All of its glory.
All of its glory. That's pretty stuff.
People should like go to YouTube and try to look for a video of that, because that was.
That was cutting it. That was cutting edge when that one came out.
Yeah.
And it still is. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been done.
I mean, really, the only person that does stuff like this is Ron Lee Christensen.
Yeah. I was about to say. I actually thought it was Ron Lee Christensen who did this initially, and that's why I asked Dewayne earlier. I was like, well, what was this again? Because this is just spectacular.
Yeah. Good stuff. Very good stuff.
Yep.
A lot of handmade stuff for 3D printing, and that
was before.
You know how long this mod took?
He was using model kits. And he was using Sculpey for some of the custom stuff. He would take Sculpey clay and he would actually sculpt it and then bake it and then paint it and then attach it.
Wow.
So there's a lot of handmade stuff on there.
I wonder how heavy that thing is.
Good question. Don't know.
Yeah, but you know what the cool thing is that the base of it though is actually a case.
Yeah.
It wasn't built from
a case mod.
It started with a case because I mean, if you go back to like page 1, you know, I mean, there it is. Bum-ba-dum. That's the case that it started off with.
Yeah, I don't even reckon. Is that an Antec case?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, Super Land Boy.
Yeah.
So.
Jesus Christ, cases were so ugly back then. The buzzword back then was, I remember, a server. That's what they were, the selling point. They were saying, oh, this is a server style case, and you should want this in your house. Now now the buzzword is gaming. Everything is gaming oriented.
Speaking of hardware that you want in your house, we've got some hardware reviews that have come up and that we've got posted up on the Modders Inc. website. And I think Al's done a liquid cooler review. Is that true, sir?
Yeah, Cooler Master, Neptune 240M, and 120XL just released today. And yeah, I got a couple of screenshots here. One thing that I was really impressed with was the increase in cooling performance. I mean, look at this. At 4.3 overclocked, full load, 100%, FPU, CPU, and you know, I'm under 45 degrees Celsius, full load for over a half hour. I believe not only has the block been enhanced with you know, the skiving and the jets that they've got going through the block, but fans. These new Silencio fans, they've got a 4.7, 4.4, 4.7 pressure ratio, and you know, they really do the job. I really think it's these fans that are improving the performance on this. In comparison, my H100, I can overclock for a half hour, 4.3 gigahertz, and stay under 50. With this, I'm staying under 45, and it's a thinner radiator too. It's only 27 millimeter radiator, 240, and you know, the performance is really good. I haven't been able to test the 120XL yet. We're having some issues with that, but I'll be on top of that. It comes with the same fans, thicker radiator, 32 millimeter, and you know, I'm really impressed. We'll have the review out probably tomorrow, next day. You know, it's just about ready for press.
Excellent, excellent. So, all in all, would this be something you would recommend to your friends? Did you have any problems with it, or was it?
I would highly recommend it. The only problem that I have that someone might run into is there's two sets of screws, one to bolt the radiator to the case, and another to bolt the brackets to the CPU block. They're almost the same. One's an M3 and the other's a 6/32.
Oh.
If you accidentally use the 6/32 with the bracket, what's going to happen is you're going to create a 1/8 of an inch space between the CPU and the cooling block. But you're going to think that you're mounted because it's going to bolt right on. It's going to go right nice and tight. And you're gonna get some real strange numbers because you're probably not bonding to the CPU.
That would cause it.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that I would, and I wrote that up in the review to be careful of. But
once you rectified that problem, everything was fine?
Well, I didn't have I just seen that it could happen.
Oh, okay. So it's not something you personally experienced; it's just something you read about on another.
There was 2 bags of screws. I grabbed one. I started to put it in, and I noticed, wait a minute, you know, it looks like the bracket's threaded, and then I tried it, and the threads didn't match up, and I looked for another bag, and sure enough, there was another bag of screws, and you know, and it's not real clear in the 13-page stretch-out instructions, you know, but. It's an easy mistake. That's why I made mention of it in the review.
Good man.
But other than that, you can also remember that you get actually I think what you got was like pre-production ones too.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff that you can kind of get into is if anybody hasn't done it before, is sometimes you'll just get this stuff in a box. It won't even be in a retail box. It's like, here you go.
Yeah,
now what?
Put it together.
You know, how do I install this thing? And you have to kind of like figure out sometimes how to install it, or what even is it supposed to do. So sometimes we run across issues, and we do have to tell them like, hey, this is it, and this is that. But usually by the time that stuff goes to retail, it's all been taken care of.
Excellent. Working from liquid cooling to cases. Dwayne, you have something you've been working on here pretty closely?
Yeah, actually, it only took me, I don't know, 5, 6 years to write this review, it seemed like. Just things going on in my life. But I finally got it done. It's the Fractal Core 3300. It's a mid-tower case. And it's a decent case. I think it has to fit your needs that you want. It's not a super flashy, which I think a lot of people probably are liking that. And maybe the style more in the U.S. where it's not all the plastic transformer kind of looking things.
Mm-hmm.
I went through. I like the case. I'm trying not to be influential to anybody of my likes or dislikes about the case, but
Mm-hmm.
the outside is just very plain, as you can see in the screenshots there. It's pretty plain. Just has on one side you've got some air intake where you can put a fan. But where it really changes though is that when you start getting onto the inside of the case, it's almost like two different beasts. So on the outside it's very mild, mental, and then it gets into like the sleeper mode. You know, you pull up next to that little Chevy Vega and you're like, oh, you want a drag race?
I got this.
Yeah, and you got that. Yeah, sure. You want to go for pinks? Blow your doors off, and then all you're seeing is just tail lights. So it kind of happens with this one. The outside, like I said, but when you start ripping it apart, you start seeing a lot of nice little features into it. And one of the features that I liked a lot was this particular feature, which is instead of having a regular hard drive cage, you actually got a vertical hard drive bracket. And the hard drive's actually attached to these. And you only have the one bracket. And it's like, that's really pretty cool because you gain so much space on the inside of this thing when they do that.
Makes sense.
What about the other side? Can you put SSDs on it too?
Yeah, let me. I'll show you actually when I'll get into the hardware side real quick here, and you'll see that you can actually put full-size drives. Here's a picture that comes up. So you actually put a full-size drive that goes on the inside of that bracket, and SSD go on the outside. You can put 6 of each
Oh, there you go.
onto that.
Both sides.
On both sides, and you have all that space behind there to put like a water cooling setup. You can put a reservoir. You can put your radiator. You can put your whole setup basically right behind that because you have the whole empty space.
Still have the space, yeah.
Which is really nice. But the only thing I thought about that is like, oh, that's awesome. I mean, it's cool, but then what? So you have a casing you've spent all this money to put stuff into, but then you can't show it off because it has solid panels.
It looks like it's a good, kind of like a build-up for a mod. It's a nice blank canvas.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks because even the outer styling is pretty simple enough, but it lends itself to like just a quick paint job. It looks pretty good already.
Right, and then you have your own
what I
window,
mentioned
your
in
own
the
style.
review was that it's actually this is where a case modder would take over and actually do it because most of us actually want something that's fairly plain like this.
Mm-hmm.
Start from scratch. But overall, I gave it a recommended because I mean during the review I was able to get it as low as $40.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
Is it steel or aluminum?
It's steel.
Okay.
It's all steel. The only thing that's plastic is actually the front cover on the front side. The
Okay.
bezel is all plastic. Everything else is actually heavy-duty steel.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rigid because you got to remember the hard drive brackets are all gone. They only have that one vertical bracket, which you can take out even if you don't want that because you can put SSDs on the back side of the motherboard. So it's very rigid. It's just that depending on the look, if that's what you want or not. But the inside is a completely different beast.
Right.
And I recommend it, especially if you can get it anywhere near that $40 price. grab it. Just grab it right up.
One minor thing that they could have done that would have really made a difference is the dual 140 spacing at the top. I think it looks like it only has 10 millimeter spacing. They could have had just punched it as a supporting for a 15 and a 10 mil. So you could, depending on the radiator.
Yeah, well, you can put a 240. I think it's up to
They support 280.
A 240. I think you can go 240 on the top, and I think you can go to 280 radiator on the front side.
Oh, there's no 280 at the top. Is that only 120?
No, here you can do what is it? You can do either like a 120. You can do a 240 on the top. I think yes, you can actually. I'm sorry, you can't do a 280. But when you do the 280, you actually have to use thinner fans. You start getting over into the other products.
Oh, because the overhang.
Yeah. But I liked it. I thought it was a good case.
Very cool. No pun intended. And continuing our jaunt through the cases, I think Ron was working on a motherboard review for us. Ron, you want to speak to that?
Yeah. Well, we've been going through a bunch of affordable motherboards for a while, but we're going to jump now to the higher end a bit. Z97 Gaming 9 AC from MSI. Let me just present my screen share here. You can see that. That's what it looks like. It's basically a gaming 7, the same as a $20 gaming 7, but they added a Wi-Fi AC module, which was a pain in the ass to install, but it was a nice feature. And it has that audio subsection right there that's beefed up. This is basically a DAC for the front audio for the output of your headphone, and I think the retail is about $299 for the MSRP for this motherboard, so it's definitely the high end. And well, stay tuned. It'll be published either tomorrow or we'll work out which one was going to get published between House Review and this motherboard, but it'll be published this week.
Sweet, that was actually pretty nice. But it's all black, right? I mean, no color on it at all, or
black and red. They have they added a couple of aesthetics thing here. Let me just go back to the photo again. See here, they added this kind of like a bracket on top. Which looks like this was actually EVGA was the first one to do this for their mini ITX board, but this one's different because you have, and they also added the kind of like an I/O shield for the audio subsection area right there at the bottom, and it's supposed to be an EMI shield, but doesn't really, with the way EMI shields work and on audio, is not really going to help much, but it looks nice either way.
No, it does look pretty cool. It looks like it could fit a lot of people's looks that they'd want to grab. Looks like looks like those heat sinks and stuff probably could be painted and stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you want to polish it up, maybe.
Yeah, the heatsink, they put an LED on the heatsink, like an LED strip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people could probably mod that, just change the color.
Right. That'd be cool.
Dirty PC Mods is taking that, and he took the heatsink, the red portion, and flipped them where they look like centipede legs crawling around on the motherboard.
Oh yeah, that's Freddy Krueger build, right?
He's doing that Freddy Krueger build, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Freddy. Mm-hmm.
Is a Micro ATX one, the one that Tom reviewed.
Is it Node 804?
No, Z97. Oh yeah, the motherboard that Nick's using is the Z97M, the one that Tom previously reviewed.
Well, no, the case he's using is the.
Oh, the Node 804.
Pretty cool, man.
Awesome. Now, something that I don't have any exposure to, wish I had exposure to, hint,
Not Ebola.
No, not yeah. In Dallas, we're finally getting through our little Ebola crisis. That's yeah. TT dude, hello. No, but we are graced by the presence of Joe in his NVIDIA Shield tablet. What can you tell us about this, Joe? Look at
So
that.
this is
Nice showing
uh,
off.
it's not really NVIDIA Shield 2.0. This is a whole different product from NVIDIA that's in the Shield family. And the original Shield was about the size of an Xbox remote, full screen flipped up. It was a touchscreen, and it was nice, but it was kind of hard to game on whenever you're having to do this. Remember trying to play some of the PC games we're used to playing on 24-inch plus monitors.
Right.
So NVIDIA came out with the tablet version, which I actually have had since it came out. Gotten to play around with it quite a bit. Got a nice clear 8-inch screen on it, full high definition. But the most impressive thing about this, which unlike my iPhone, its battery lasts a good while. I flew from Texas to Wyoming, and I used this thing pretty heavily the entire time that I was stuck waiting in line or on the airplane. Yes, they do a lot of these devices on airplanes now. And my battery, for me playing games, watching movies, and using the internet, it never hit below 60%.
Wow.
Get out.
It made the battery life is that amazing. It lasts hours and hours and hours of intense usage. Wow.
How hot did it get?
I never noticed a temperature difference.
Really?
Wow.
They stay very cold. Now, I have the 16 gig Wi-Fi version. There is a 32 gig LTE version, and the good thing about these is they do have a memory stick expansion slot. So you can put, I have a 64 gig in here. I haven't tried the 128 gigs fix. I may try that next. I think I've seen a few people use it, but I know a lot of people, including myself, if you can find like old emulators to play the games from like the 90s and before, they work on this. I mean, the remote that you can buy. The remote does not come with the Shield, but it's very similar to, if I can get it on camera, the Xbox remote, and it's for a Bluetooth remote. It works very well, and the battery life I haven't heard still works.
Wow. Wow. Now, when it comes to games that you can put on this, are they specially designed for the
Shield?
tablet, for the Shield, or can you just put any game on there?
There's some games that you can't, but there's quite a few games now that are fully optimized for the Shield. So, like I'm here in my hotel in Wyoming. My PC is on in Texas, and all I have to do is patch in through the interwebs, and it'll go all the way to my PC and say, hey, here's your game, and I'll stream from my PC.
Get out.
So I can play my games at, I want to say it's like 1920 by 1200 resolution that I normally play at or whatever I play at, and I can play that on the tablet. So I mean, here's the downside, but it's kind of expected with the tab. I mean, most tablets are going to cost you about $200 anyway. These for the 16 gig Wi-Fi version, when I bought it was $300. It just comes with the tablet by itself. The controller I think is about 60, if you're 60, and then you have the cover. It's like a magnetic detachable cover like you see on the iPads. Those are $40. And I did try to buy a cheaper one before on Amazon that was like $8, and it didn't stand up. I would actually recommend spending the $40 on the actual NVIDIA one.
So you get what you pay for.
Oh yeah, you're definitely getting what you pay for. And so whenever if you're playing online with the tablet, the controller actually comes with a microphone jack, so you can actually use your headsets with it.
Oh, wow.
So you can yell obscenities on your tablet at people, and it just feels that much more personal.
With the remote link to your PC, can you also run your apps, anything you want from your PC? Can you run it with a tablet?
I haven't done that. There is I got into kind of like a special mode on mine.
Yeah,
But
that
there
would
was
require
some
Joe being like going into his productivity apps, and we know that Joe doesn't do that. Joe,
productive.
PCs aren't made for being productive. It's time wasters. I don't know about you, but when I get on mine, time just sucks away.
yeah.
The downside to the tablet is I can't farm bill, and my purple goats need me.
Well played.
I was playing Borderlands here a little bit ago, and I didn't have any problems. Of course, it does depend on your internet connection as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I was playing, having a blast. The guy I was sitting next to on the airplane just kind of looked at me. He's like, "Are you playing Super Mario?" I was like, yes, I am.
So it's kind of like a Sling box. Okay, I know that you have to have a connection. Doesn't that actually like turn your TV on or something? And if somebody's at home, they can't actually change the channel and stuff. Is that kind of the same thing with this? Is it that
right? So if I'm streaming a game to the tablet, it'll actually mirror everything I'm doing on the tablet to the PC or vice versa. So if I'm playing, let's say, I'm playing Half-Life on my tablet, you'll see on my screen is doing the exact same thing I'm doing. Or if I'm playing Titanfall, which usually that's what I'm playing, you'll see whatever's happening on the tablet is happening on the PC. And if you mess with it, it's going to affect the tablet.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of cool, but that kind of sucks because I mean, if you have, let's say you only have one PC at home, and Joe's in Wyoming playing games, and you know his girlfriend or something's like, son of a bitch, I got to get on the computer, but he's playing.
That's why she has her own PC.
That's good that you don't need to log. You don't need to bring your entire PC with you when you travel. You can just leave it at home and stream your games.
It is. That's even if you take out the whole thing with the NVIDIA Shield is the streaming capability. Even if you take that away, it's a solid tablet, and it is based off Android. I believe they made an announcement that Lollipop, the new Android OS, will be available for it.
Oh wow!
Sweet.
And it just, I mean, even from the first unboxing of it and using it, they update constantly, and there's new features all the time on this tablet. I would definitely recommend this. I mean, if you can shell out, like I said, prepare to spend about $400 minimum if you want to get the actual NVIDIA license stuff, but well worth it.
Good. Good.
Are there third-party controls like Madcast or something providing controls for those, or any other company, or just all NVIDIA?
I think any Bluetooth remote is capable of utilizing it, but I know one of the big things is Bluetooth controllers have their issues. They're not as reliable as like wireless with its receiver. But this one I haven't had any problems with.
Sweet. That's pretty cool.
It does have a camera and a stylus as well. I mean, I actually have not charged this thing since I got off the plane, even using it as much as I have and doing updates, and I'm still at 40%.
Wow. That's impressive.
So if my iPhone could do that, I'd be really impressed. No, I'd half my battery with the call.
Yeah, keep dreaming. That'll never happen. You know.
It's all those NSA apps running in the background.
Exactly. Yeah. Because everybody wants
It's
to
the
know
Apple
what
Pay.
they're doing.
You know, it's like doing bitcoins now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Joe, I don't know if you meant to or didn't mean to, but you actually helped us segue into our next discussion point, which is gaming. Going off of what you just talked about on the Shield tablet, Borderlands has just released Claptrap in all of his extraordinary glory. Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I think Tom can speak to this. I think Tom was about ready to come out of his skin when he heard this was coming out.
Oh yeah,
I played Borderlands, but I'm not a Borderlands nut.
Oh, I've played the previous two, and I mean, when you get 4 of your friends in there, it's a party. Vulgar jokes, the writing in the games is honestly what makes the game. It's not necessarily the storyline. It's just the the interaction with the characters, and
When I was playing Borderlands 2, I died several times because of several things that Handsome Jack said, and I got to laughing, and my hands came off the keyboard, and I got killed. I had to go back and replay it and listen to what he said because the writing is that good.
It continues in the pre-sequel. The pre-sequel is good. The annoying little robot you can now play and torture him if you choose.
Claptrap!
You can play Claptrap. So it's a blast. It came out on October 13th. Unfortunately, I'm a little behind. I got it a couple days ago, but anyway, it's still good. It's the cell shaded animations are still just like the other two.
Mm-hmm. What's kind of the arching story? I mean, like in Borderlands 2, it was to try and kill Handsome Jack. I mean, that was basically what you were trying to do.
So in the first mission, essentially you're shot up to Hyperion Station and actually crash into Hyperion Station, and your first task is to rescue Handsome Jack before the mask. So you actually wind up working for him. The part in the game where I'm at now is you're just shot to the moon, and you have to find whatever jammers are out there that are preventing the defense systems from coming online. So far, it's a blast.
So I've never played it. So is that kind of a game that I could jump into and understand what the game is about?
Oh yeah, the controls are super simple. There's standard first-person shooter, and then you've got duck and bash. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so I wouldn't understand the storyline though if I just jump in and go, oh, I don't know.
You don't need the storyline. You really don't. I mean,
yeah.
As long as you can breathe, you're fine.
Yeah. As long as your hearing is good and you can breathe, you're going to enjoy the game. Because if I was able to start in Borderlands 2, not knowing any of the backstory from Borderlands, and I loved it. I had a great time with it. I've been too busy to jump back into it again, and so I've got friends of mine that are clamoring all over the place talking about the pre-sequel and how much fun it is, and I'm like, yeah, but you guys are kind of fanboys, and all of a sudden I got Tom here saying the same things that these guys are saying. And it's like, who's pulling all these people's strings, or is the game actually that good? It sounds like it's just that good.
Well, my brother introduced me to it on the console, and I'm just an idiot when it comes to console gaming. But so we played for about 2 hours, and I immediately went and got the first one on PC, and that was it.
It's funny. It is funny. There's some just
pretty cheap
kidney-busting humor in there.
Both like $10.
Do what?
Of the 1 and 2.
We're losing Joe.
Joe, what'd you say, buddy?
You can get 1 and 2 pretty cheap on Steam. I think it's like for both maybe $10-15, and they're well worth every penny.
Oh wow.
Agreed. And then there's a lot of expansion packs that they do for them, and then you can purchase like armament boosts for the different classes if you want to, instead of grinding for them.
Oh yeah, and then just the I don't know how many exactly, but the thousands of different weapon combinations that are out there. It just makes it completely different. But the other thing is too is it's not as hard, I guess, on the hardware. You can run it with an older PC and play just fine.
That's true. Yeah. That's true, because it's not a lot of high resolution textures because of the cell shading.
Exactly.
But they have that style, and it's awesome that they've kept to it.
Right, and you can increase it and get the anti-aliasing and make it to where it looks like you're playing through almost like a graphic novel.
Yeah, exactly.
You got little fog effects that will come rolling through, and the explosions and some of the blood and the body parts. And some of the things that the people say when they're dying. Oh my God.
It goes to show that there's still a lot of contribution from the art direction, not just strictly from the graphic side. I mean,
Right.
we've been hearing a lot about Crysis and the Crysis 3 engine and stuff, but the art direction Borderlands is just complete from the writing all the way through the character designs is just totally different.
Right.
Huge experience.
Right. It is. It is.
Eggs are done.
Oh, yep. Eggs are done. All right. Well, Borderlands pre-sequel came out on October the 13th, and for those of you on Quake Live, we have a very exciting announcement, and that is Dewayne is back in. Dewayne is in the film. If you see American Freak running around, just know that he's there for you to kill.
That's right. Come on, try and beat this 51-year-old, huh? Beat your asses down, little kids.
So what made you look back at Quake Live?
Oh, Quake! Besides even going to QuakeCon and all that stuff, it's. I love just going in, being able to play it, blow the shit out of stuff, and then get right back out of it, and not having to figure out that in real time traveling 24 hours to go to some store. I have a coin. What shall I buy? Oh, you have to go to another store and spend another 6 days traveling. I would just want to go in and spend 15 minutes, blow some shit up, get some people done, get them pissed off at me, and then leave.
I used to do that with Unreal Tournament 2003.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have a lot of fun with that. But Quake Live, that's such a Twitch game. It's so much fun.
I love that. That's a style of game that I like to play.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, for an older guy, I think I do pretty damn good at it. So.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's almost, 15 years ago since Quake 3? Almost Quake 3. 98, 99?
Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 90s. Right?
Arena was 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, 99, then, yeah.
And that's what Quake Live is based off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because 4 was like at the dawn of Xbox 360. And that was what, like 2004?
Yeah. So I just remember that. I mean, Quake 2 is where I lost everything. I lost hours and days, and I think probably years of my life playing that game. And I've still yet to finish playing that. I've never finished the single player aspect of it because somebody told me about multiplayer, and I went, "What? That was it?
That was it. Yeah.
Done
We used
deal."
to play that the computer labs, and we installed it secretly, and we would play. We had a newly installed computer lab in high school. We installed that in StarCraft secretly, but then whenever it's a quiet room, and then whenever somebody gets fragged, somebody just can't stop themselves, and they'd be like, "Yay!" And we start shouting in the middle of this room where everyone's quiet. We finally got busted because we tried to install it over the network. We tried to store it in the network, rather.
Oops.
That was the best part, like when it lands at your house way back then. Like, I don't know, everybody doesn't realize. Yes, we usually actually had to get together to play games.
Yep.
And then he'd be there, and everything would be quiet. And all of a sudden, you're like, "Son of a bitch!"
Because you had to lug that giant CRT around LCD.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't very common back then.
Oh yeah, the big
Even
21
I had one.
CRT, 19-inch CRTs.
I had me one of those Sony Trinitrons.
Oh man, yeah. Oh,
God, put that thing.
I wouldn't
down.
mind having those right now,
I'd
though.
watch the table go. Ooh. But it was big, and it was radioactive, and it was mine. That's where all my hair went. Those big monitors. So, moving with the same vein of the excitement and adventure and visceral action of Quake Live, there's a new game that's coming out that one of our team members was lucky enough to get involved in on the beta, and that is the new game coming out from the guys that made, I think it was Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. Yeah, they're coming out with Evolve, which is a team-based hunting game against one large, really bad creature. And Joe, I think you got into this, didn't you?
I did. I didn't think I was going to be able to, and then I got an email last minute. and I like throw all my bandwidth just to download it in time. But yeah, so Evolve is. I mean, I had goosebumps just watching the trailers and then getting to play. But I think at this point it was. I think they were calling it an alpha, but it was still kind of a beta.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's you have a monster, and the whole point of it is you play the monster, and it's one being the monster versus 4, which is your friends trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And the monster will go around the environment, eat wildlife. Keep in mind the wildlife can attack you also,
Mm-hmm.
And you do have a health bar, so you're not in complete god mode. But as you kill the people trying to kill you or the wildlife, you level up and evolve, and you get new abilities. The Kraken and the Goliath are the 2 that they've released as far as the monsters. So every person on the team has their role. The hunter, you have the support, the medic, the usual stuff. And I can honestly say I will lose many, many days and possibly months playing this game when it comes out.
It looks.
It's Left 4 Dead on crack.
Okay. And I've played Left 4 Dead like crazy. I loved Left 4 Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if those guys can take that same type of chemistry and put it into a big 4-on-1, nearly impossible. I mean, I was watching some of the stuff that was happening online where the people were playing it, and my son and I were laughing watching it because you would see teams they got down to one person, and one person's like trying to find the strategically important place so that they can take on the monster and possibly, finish the level, and then they get killed by the wildlife trying to hide from the monster. It's like, oh, get eaten by a plant, or I saw one of them do a final pistol, one final shot, he was down. It's that whole Left 4 Dead thing. You're on the ground and you're shooting, and the last pistol shot that he did at the end of the round is what killed the monster. It was like,
it's something that I've never played anything like it before. I mean, most of the time it's a group of people, and you're trying to face this bot that is the monster. But I've never seen a game where you were the monster yourself and you were trying to defeat the other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It looks
And
really
cool. It's so as a monster you're trying to destroy basically their central power station,
mm-hmm.
or whatever the main thing in that level is. And as the monster, you can't just run in there and destroy it. You have to be strategic. It's not Call of Duty. You can't just run in and die 10,000 times.
Dig.
I think they pushed it back until next year. I want to say February is what it got pushed back to.
Okay.
But at this point, I've gotten to play in the beta. I signed up for this next one that comes up. If you look on Facebook, they've been releasing codes almost daily that you can be part of the next basically group trial. So hopefully I get picked again because I enjoy that way too much. And hopefully it's available on the Shield. One of the things I did forget to mention on the Shield is it has HDMI mini on it, so you can plug it up to a bigger monitor and display off the big monitor, so you're not stuck on an 8-inch. That is actually one of the big reasons I bought for it, because with my job I do travel quite a bit. Having my PC sit at home and then my little tablet and just being able to stream made it plenty worth it for me.
Very cool. Very cool, Joe. Thank you for that. I appreciate the show. So I think we all need to keep our eyes open for Evolve. It sounds like, I mean, just from what I've read about it, that's going to be a game that's going to take the world by storm when it comes out. It's going to have a lot of buzz and a lot of hype around it. I've watched many people, just like what Joe did, get into it and come out just raving about it. So it's this may be another visceral kick to the gut like what you're dealing with, Dewayne, with Quake Live. So we may end up losing you to Evolve.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You need to upgrade your machine.
What was that one at QuakeCon? There's one at QuakeCon, I think it was called Battlestorm?
Is that what it was? The one,
I don't remember.
I didn't get to play it, but there was a lot of buzz about it at QuakeCon. A lot of people that were saying they got to play it, that they really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it was
So-
Melee.
Right. So many games, so little time.
No kidding. It gets really confusing. Trying to keep track of everything. I don't envy marketing departments at games. I really don't. Oh, speaking of marketing, did you guys hear about the guy that issued a death threat against Gabe Newell?
Yes.
And then he got his name removed from Steam.
He is the developer guy, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All sorts of bent out of shape about something. And he issued a death threat to Gabe Newell. And Steam said, bye, fly.
There was something along with the gaveth, giveth, and he taketh away.
Do I?
The gaveth, giveth, and he taketh away.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. The Gabe and giveth. Yep. Oh shoot. Yeah, that was fun. No, but I don't envy marketing departments for electronic entertainment. Trying to maintain mind share with all of the games that are out there, especially the ones that you're picking up from indie developers on Steam or GOG or all these other independent gaming sites. How do you maintain mind share? How do you get the kind of excitement that Evolve has gotten, that Quake has had the longevity to keep over all these years? I just, wow. I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
We were in that room with when they re-announced Doom. I mean, that excitement just boiled over.
Mm-hmm. And here we are talking about it.
I still get goose pimples.
Hey, id, Bethesda, ZeniMax, do you see? Are you picking up what we're putting down? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
Make us noise.
Okay. Well, let's move on a little bit. We were talking before we started on the session tonight, and Tom brought to light something that I totally had blanked on, and that is something called the Windows Insider Program. I believe it was for testing the newest release of Windows 10. Is that right, Tom?
Yep. You can download the technical preview for Windows 10. Microsoft has made, it open to the public. They're going to, see how you guys use the operating system. They're going to take that back. Anytime there's an issue with the OS, they're going to ask you what went wrong. Send the logs in. Microsoft has quite a bit of egg on their face right now with Windows 8 for the PC. On a tablet or touchscreen device, it's fine, but mouse and keyboard is absolutely horrible. So, and then removing the start menu, it just made it really clunky to get around. Not that it was a bad operating system, but those limited features, I think, kept it essentially in the mobile or tablet industry. So Windows 10, the technical preview is out, I think a day or two ago. They're out on a new build number, so you guys can go out, get it, test it out. If you want your voice to be heard, participate.
So is it like an ISO that you can download and install to machines?
Yep.
Straight up?
Yes, you can. You can actually, one of the tests that I did when I first downloaded the first version that was available is I took a Windows 7 machine and did an upgrade. Upgraded just fine.
Oh, really? From
Yep.
from the ISO, you just created a disk and then then you just ran an upgrade from there?
Yep, I did. And it upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 10. Actually, I had Office and a couple other apps on there. They work just fine.
That's awesome.
So it still needs some polish on it. So far, I'm using it on a HP Z. What the heck is it? A Z400 workstation, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, there's no issues.
What's the driver support like?
I used Windows 7 drivers on it. Of course, it complained about not being signed, but I mean, for the most part, I've got an NVIDIA workstation card in that machine,
Mm-hmm.
and it installed just fine.
Mm-hmm. Have you gamed on it at all? I mean, what's the performance?
No, not yet.
Okay.
How big is the download and the install?
Well, let me look. I want to say it's about 2 gigs, but not. Not 100% sure on the download size.
Forgot Windows Me on that list.
No,
Windows ME, the worst Windows ever.
No. Windows Consumer Edition. Wince. That one cracked me up.
When the hell was that?
Wince. I never heard of Wince.
Yeah, WinCE.
Oh, CE, yeah, the mobile one, the one they had in the. I remember those.
Well, don't say too much bad about it because some of our lighting control at the resort is run off of that.
So the 64-bit version is 3.8 gigs.
3.8 gigs.
Yeah, but it fits an
That's
ISO.
reasonable. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Are you running it in a virtual machine?
No, this is on HP Workstation.
Oh,
The Z400.
yeah.
16 gigs RAM, and honestly, the performance, it's still early. There's some things like Arrow that's not really implemented. The polish isn't there, but the base operating system so far, runs really good.
So it's like Windows Vista then. It's not polished up.
It's actually better than Vista ever
Better
was.
than Vista. It's got to be better than Vista. Please let it be better than Vista.
We're going to ship your machine with 2 gigs, but you need 4 to run it.
Well,
What was
that's
that?
cool. So can they just? I'm sorry. Can you just Google Windows Insider Program or and that's a publicly accessible link where they can pull down Windows 10?
Yep, you got to sign up for the Insider program. It's not a big deal. Email address, password. You sign in, you can download the ISO, and off you go.
Cool. Very cool. I did not know that. So you're how old? Okay, you said you'd put it on a workstation. You're using a workstation graphics card. How old do you think the hardware is that you had Windows 7 on that you upgraded to Windows 10?
I'm not sure when that one was bought, but let's take a look and see.
Because I've got a machine outside in the garage that's running Vista that I would love to get Vista off of, and I'll be more than happy to put 10 on there and participate in the program.
Well, let's see.
The hardware's a couple years old.
It can't be really that old. It's got 2 16X Gen 2 slots in it.
Okay.
Well, even then, Windows 8 ran pretty solid on old hardware.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even 7. I mean, I put 7 on an old Asus, what was it, the little, like, 10-inch laptop. And
Yeah.
it actually ran really good.
As long as it's not coded like Vista or Crisis, you're fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so far on that one test machine, I have, better hardware, sitting on the shelf behind me, but I haven't had a chance to throw it on any of that stuff yet. But yeah, on the older stuff so far, I figured, why not? What's the worst it's going to do? It's my crash box anyways. So
there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give that a shot. That's really cool. That's really cool. So, one of the things that Tom brought up that was a very, very valid point is the more people that participate in using this Windows 10 development environment, if you will, And the more that they participate and the more that they hand feedback back to Microsoft and let them learn how they're using the operating system, the better it will be when it comes out. So it behooves us as enthusiasts, as opposed to complaining when the operating system comes out. You guys have a golden ticket right here to be able to pick up an operating system, install it, use it, let Microsoft see how you're using it and say, oh, well, that works, or oh, that doesn't. And, let them tailor the next release so that it comes out better and more usable and more user-friendly for us. So
yeah, they want you to break things.
Yeah. So, Tom, thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. I appreciate that.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
They were saying the reason they called it 10 and not 9 is the way the system saw programs at 98 or one of the older operating systems, the way it's coded reads as Windows 9 already. So if they worded as Windows 9, it would cause conflicts.
Yeah, there's some rumor to that some of the coding is excluding text that's when it queries the operating system, it's Win9 and then a wildcard. So
yeah, but they use that same bullshit excuse when they were doing Windows 7. Because they said code was referring back to this and it's going to do that. So I mean,
are they just pretending that this is not marketing that went out that did $100,000 worth of research that Windows 10 is going to make more money than Windows 9, and they focus grouped it.
I think they're just trying to get away as far as possible from 8.
Yeah. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I would too.
At one time, weren't they looking at calling it like Windows 1 or something, to that effect?
Mm-hmm.
Or just call it Windows.
Windows.
Or Linux.
We're going to follow the Xbox. It's not Windows 1.
I think Microsoft is going in the right direction of trying to, make your experience similar across any device that you use.
What about that rumor that they're going to offer it for free? Is that any truth to that, or free upgrade at least from 7 and 8 to 10?
I've heard the same thing, but I've also heard that there's going to be supposedly a cut down version that anybody can download for free. Similar to what you can go out and get Linux distros for free. So.
Raz, you were saying that sounds to me like they're trying to cut into the Linux distribution market.
So,
yeah.
Can you only upgrade from 8 for free? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, then they're just trying to get people to buy 8.
Yeah, we got to recoup their money somehow.
No, I think they said 7 would be free as well.
You know what? I bet you they're going to do like those freemium games. You buy it, you upgrade it, you end up with a baseline operating system, and if you want to do anything, you have to buy tokens.
Yeah.
Instead of free to play, it's free to use.
Yeah, premium. Yeah.
Everybody wants to buy it. A brand new unopened box of Windows 8 Pro. Still waiting for them to get it right, so I'm guessing I'm not opening this box up.
Well,
I am going to put this on eBay probably when PIN comes out, and I probably still can't get rid of it.
better than Apple's approach. Let's give out YouTube as a free upgrade.
Yeah.
And then have 1,000 different tutorials on how to remove it.
Yeah.
I had no idea it downloaded into my phone until I was driving and it randomly popped up. Driving around, what the hell is this?
Did it make you mad?
I was confused because like I know I didn't download this. What the hell is it? And I looked, Bono.
Yeah. It's a pretty decent album. It's a lot of fun. I mean, and I know that nothing is free, but I know what. Whoops, sorry. I know that nothing is free, and I know that this was a big marketing hoopla coup for U2. But that apology from Bono, I mean, that seemed he was like genuinely hurt. It's like he was trying to do something good and give everybody something free, and a lot of people got offended and upset and bent out of shape, and he's like, I didn't know, and I'm sorry. And it's like, man, it was free.
I think a lot of people find him annoying that that whatever he does will be criticized anyway.
Yeah.
Even if his next move was to adopt a kid or something, he will be criticized for it.
I adopted every child like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
These
He's
are
got such a punchable face too, so.
these are my Pokemon. I collected them from all around the world.
Oh my gosh. You went there.
I had to.
Yeah. Well, guys, you guys got anything else that you feel the need to air out? You know, laundry that needs to come out, things that you thought about during the show that we haven't discussed, or, you know, things that you think would benefit some of our listeners?
Yes.
What you got?
It's something that's overlooked way too much when it comes to modding.
Mm-hmm.
Safety. I don't know, I'm guilty of it also. I've had a Dremel disc explode and the pieces went through my hair. I was very fortunate that they didn't go into my skull. But safety is very important. Wear gloves, glasses, full face mask, whatever you have to, because it just takes one slip, and what was a fun project can scar you for life.
I have to. I'm going to say something to what you're saying, Joe. Don't think that you're bulletproof just because you bought basic protection. Okay, I had drill press glasses on. You know, they had they were hard plastic, lenses, and they had the side protection on the eye skirts coming up on the eyes. But because of where they were riding on my nose, I had a little gap underneath the lens between my cheek and the glasses. And when I was working on the Ghost Rider PC for this last year, I had a Dremel disc explode, and that thing ricocheted up off my cheek underneath that glass and literally ping-ponged 2 or 3 times across my eyelashes and across my eyelid. I got lucky. I got real lucky, but it was a hot piece of reinforced cutoff wheel that bounced underneath that glass. So if you can get glasses, and this is coming from personal experience, get full coverage goggles to keep anything from bounce. Because if you're like me and you're dremeling and you have the cutoff wheel in front of you and it's below you, and that thing is spinning and basically kicking dust upwards, when that thing explodes, all those pieces are going to come up. You need to have bottom protection for those glasses, or you need to be facing straight down at what you're looking at. In my case, I kind of had my head at an angle to what it was that I was cutting. So depending on your style, you need it. Exactly what Joe is saying. Safety first. Pay attention to what you're doing and get the right eye coverage, because you've only got one set of eyes. You damage those things, it's going to be real difficult to mod.
I use the Bono glasses, yeah.
The Bono glasses?
Yeah, the full coverage.
Nice. You're back to abusing Bono, aren't you?
I mean, I might go a little
I never
overboard,
stop.
but I use a full like heavy-duty paintball mask that's rated for shotgun blast. For me, just because I'm shorter, that Dremel disc travels a less distance and doesn't lose the momentum fast enough.
For those that aren't aware, I'm 6'8", so the Dremel has to come up a little bit higher to get me, but not that.
It sort of loses some of the velocity, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gravity just kind of ninja star grab it or something, right?
I mean, even if it's a quick cut, I mean that's how that Dremel just exploded with me, and it flew through my hairline. It was one cut I had to do, and the Dremel just exploded, and after that, I was okay. I don't care if I'm super sweaty under these or
Mm-hmm.
if it's uncomfortable. I'd rather be uncomfortable for about 5 minutes than
Mm-hmm.
be blind or disfigured for the rest of my life. I mean, I'm funny
Yes.
looking enough as it is. I don't even try to help.
Joe. Oh my, Joe, thank you for bringing that up. That is something that is so true. Yeah. I mean, it's you hear us harp on it and chirp on it, but you see a lot of people online that are modding that aren't taking it seriously. And I mean, from cutting discs exploding to shrapnel coming off of pieces that you're using a skill saw on or a jigsaw on, or drill press fragments if you're trying to drill through acrylic and it starts throwing hot acrylic everywhere. Um, Rebreathers for whenever you're painting, because okay, paint smells good.
Okay.
Yeah, paint smells great. But it's horrible for your sinuses and it's horrible for your respiratory tract. It's bad for your brain. It makes you hallucinate, which explains a lot about me. But get yourself a good nosh respirator to keep yourself from breathing those fumes in, even if you're just going to shoot a short thing. Make sure your ventilation is good. Make sure you're taking safety into account on everything that you do. Joe, thank you.
No, I mean I've had my stomach completely cut, and it was because I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold this down. I phased for a second, did not hold the piece down when I was drilling into it, and it caught, and the whole metal piece swung around, cut through my shirt across my belly. And I'm fine. I looked back, and there was like a little trail of blood starting to seep through. I was like, well, crap, I like this shirt.
I was like, Joe, I wasn't going to say anything, but it looked like you had lost some weight.
It was funny me going into the house holding my stomach, and Mom's like, what's wrong? Do you have gas? I'm like, no, but I have a bigger problem.
At least you weren't eviscerated, so.
It was fine. It could have been a lot worse. I got really fortunate that I saw the thing starting to kick around.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, use proper clamps. Even if it takes a little bit longer, if you're in a rush for a mod, safety first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you're like me and you procrastinate all the time to mod or do anything.
Joe lays down and goes, freedom!
I think all it takes is one time of when you're working with some aluminum and you've been cutting on it for a while and you take it over to a power sander and you're using it and you're not using gloves and all of a sudden it's like, this is hot.
Mm-hmm.
You get like 30-degree burns on your fingers and you go, shit.
Why do my fingers feel funny?
Yeah. Oh, it says, ah.
Where's that smoke coming from?
That's
My fingers.
Where's my Bono glasses? I got to get my Bono gloves. My Bono wear.
Oh boy, little did Bono know he was going to become so entrenched in modding. All right. Well, anything else, guys?
no.
All right, I'll just step down the line. Al, you got anything you want to add in?
I'm cool.
You good, Joe?
Yeah.
Anything else besides that safety?
Nothing that's appropriate for the stream.
Dwayne?
All I want to say is, thanks for everybody for watching, and we are going to get this back together, and we're going to have some fun with it like we've been doing now, and please come up to the site, put your work logs in. We really want to try and get back the work logs going. Just wherever you go, just kind of do it, get it back to the community, because this is where we really teach each other how to do these kind of things, and you get a lot more interaction than that 15-second flash across Facebook. You can make some new friends, and come to our website, look at all of our stuff, and especially if you want us to talk about certain subjects on the podcast, leave us a note somewhere, either on the YouTube channel or you can email us. We have a forum on the website, and just say, hey, I think you guys should talk about this subject, or we might even be starting to talk about looking at getting other people to come in. So we might be getting people from the manufacturers and stuff to start coming in and talking.
Let us know what you want to hear. Absolutely. Ron?
Featured mods every Friday published. We look for featured mods, and also you can submit featured mods to us. We have a cool military mod upcoming this Friday, and next Friday will be a Halloween themed mod. So just submit if you have a case mod project you're working on, just submit it to us, or hit us up on Facebook.
Sorry.
That monster's kicking in.
Yeah. Tom, what you got, buddy?
After all that, I got nothing.
You got nothing. You got nothing. Well, that's good because I got nothing. So we can be the. What's Joe? Joe, what are you playing with?
Just wire stripper.
Oh, okay.
You say stripper?
Yeah, he's in a hotel room and he's playing with strippers. Were you at Vegas?
Oh, is that where the glitter came from?
Yeah.
Yes. Glitter. I thought it was fun, but he said no.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening and watching the ModdersInc.com podcast. And if you would, please take a few moments to follow us on Twitter, on twitter.com/ModdersInc. That's no hyphen on that. YouTube, we have youtube.com/ModdersInc. No hyphen on that. You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/ModdersInc. Everybody, is there a hyphen in there?
No.
No, there's no hyphen in there. That's right. We also have a case modding group named aptly Case Modders that Joe is becoming incredibly adept at wielding the banhammer. It is awesome. It is clean. He is
Banning
so
all those trying to sell Bono glasses.
Exactly, yeah. We are a Bono eyeglass free zone. It's really cool. If you have any questions or comments, please head over to the site and post them up in the podcast section of the forums. Or you can go to our Facebook page and leave a comment or a suggestion like what Dewayne was saying earlier. There's lots of different ways to reach us. We will announce when the next podcast will be, and you can watch us live. We'll try and take your questions. So just check us out at moddersinc.com for the latest on case modding hardware and more. For all of us here at Modders Inc., this is Craig Tate, signing out. Hope you all had a good evening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care. Bye-bye.